So we're going to review some of the pre-calculus skills. It is really important that we are very fluent and really know our pre-calculus skills because many of them are kind of embedded in a lot of the calculus that we're going to do. So one of them is function notation and how we deal with function notation. So the function notation, when we have f of the sum expression here, we first of all define our f function. Okay, so here's our f function defined. Here's our g function defined. And depending on the function that we're using, we're just going to embed the variable or the number in for where the x is. So f of -2 is going to be equal to the square root of 3. We substitute the -2 in and evaluate that expression. So in this case here, we're going to end up with -6 minus 2. So that ends up being -8. Okay, and this is an imaginary number, so we can't actually work this out. So this does not exist. Okay, so for b, we're now defining the g function. And in this case here, we can substitute not just numbers, but we can also substitute expressions in for the variable. So here we're going to define the g function as 2x squared plus 1. So this function notation is going to mean this. We have our function 2x squared plus 1. And inside that, we are going to embed the 3x plus 1 into that function. Okay, so once we've done that, we've actually done the function notation. What's implied though, we should always expand and simplify or combine like terms. So here we're going to end up with 2 times 9x squared plus 6x plus 1 plus 1. So 18x squared plus 12x plus 2 plus 1, so plus 3. So we can also combine functions using function notation. So f of x minus f of g just means we're going to take our f of x function. I'll do this one in red. So we're going to take our f of x function, 3x minus 2, and then we're going to subtract our g function. Okay, so it just becomes 2x squared plus 1. Well, there's something wrong with what I've done here. And in this case here, since I'm subtracting, this is in particular when we have subtraction, I'm subtracting the g. That means I need to subtract the whole thing. So I need to subtract all of this. So I'm going to subtract the plus 1. If I leave the brackets out, okay, that means I'm actually adding 1 instead of subtracting 1. And this notation shows up as well, where we have the f minus g of x. That means that f of x minus g of x, these are the same thing. The last one here is we can embed a function notation inside another function notation. So what that means then is if we have the outside function is f, that's going to be on the outside. The inside function is g. So then wherever we have the x, we're going to embed our g function. Okay, so the g function is defined as 2x squared plus 1. So we're going to embed the 2x squared plus 1 function inside the g function. Or sorry, the g function inside the f function here like this. Okay, and then we should simplify by combining like terms. So we get 6x squared plus 3 minus 2, which is plus 1. Okay, so there we go. So domain and range.